Good morning, beautiful souls. So I've been meaning to do a video for a few days. I've had loads to say for a few days, and the trouble is I haven't had the time to do them. So all that was in my head goes, and I don't write it down because it's very weird for me. So even if I jotted down notes, it wouldn't take me back to what I'm receiving. So I suppose I'm receiving it in the moment, but it's so unopportune moments where I'm getting it at 3 o'clock in the morning, or I'm getting it in the middle of the shower, and none of you really want to see me in the shower. So it's just bizarre, but the whole energy building up to this full moon in Hagalaz, full moon in Scorpio, has been powerful and strong, and there's been moments of clarity, and then there's been moments of sheer just confusion. It's been really, really interesting. But the last couple of weeks for me, I've had loads of downloads. I've sort of looked at my path, where I'm going, and I can feel this spring cleaning. I know now we're moving in to the more summer months, but I've still got this energy of the spring clean, and it was making me think of what we do spiritually. And so I had like a few thoughts of this, of like where we might no, let's backtrack a bit, although I haven't actually said anything. Right, a lot of us start out, it's much easier now for people to start out on a knowingly spiritual path, because I believe we're all on a spiritual path. Because when I started back in the 80s, there wasn't a tremendous amount out there. There wasn't loads of books. There wasn't loads of workshops you could go on. There wasn't loads of groups. And the groups that were very quiet, almost secret groups. So unless you were in the know with the people, and even then, they may not even tell you unless you mention that you were into something, which often you didn't, because you didn't want people to think you were a bit kooky. So it was much harder. It's much easier now. It's, people Instagram stuff, people TikTok stuff, there's YouTube, there's so much more online. There's just so, it's amazing how it's opened up for people. Obviously you get the bad side of that, so we've got a lot of fraudsters and all that sort of side, which you get anyway. So, but that's not what I want to discuss. I want to talk about this cleansing thing. And I realized when I started out that I didn't have any peers or friends into what I was into. So I was very isolated, very alone. And then sort of I met someone who was really excited about what I spoke about, and we could like have a discussion about stuff, and then it sort of started to expand, and I did end up in a group and things like that, which was great. But in those times, often we get hooked into someone else's path and their way, because either we don't want to go to a workshop on our own. And back then for me, it was very difficult, because you just felt so, I mean, some people are great. Some people like going off on their own and doing stuff, but I found it very difficult to sort of just go off onto a workshop, because it was less known. Now it's not really so much of a problem, but back then people tended to go with someone else. So their friend is going on a drumming workshop. Oh, I'm going on a drumming workshop. Do you want to come along? And you would go. So some people got very attached to someone else's path, because maybe you wouldn't have gone on the drumming workshop. It was just that your friend was going, they wanted you to go because they didn't want to go on their own, and you thought you'd go because it, you know, it sounded interesting, even if it wasn't exactly what you wanted to do. And I remember going on a workshop on my own, which was at Lip Hook. The place that I went to was oh, I can see his face, can't think of his name now. And he owns the Living Tree Orchid Essences. He's up in Scotland now, but he had this most beautiful place in Lip Hook in Surrey. I think it's Surrey. Is it Hampshire? So I can't remember. My two friends that I worked really heavily with the spiritual side, neither of them wanted to go, and I went on to this essence, Alaskan Essences, by Steve someone, I can't remember his name, and I had to go on my own because neither of them were interested in doing it and going. I think my phone just froze then. That was bloody Mercury retrograde. I don't know, maybe stuff's happening. Anyway, so I went on this workshop and it was great. But then I didn't have anyone to talk to about it because my friends weren't interested enough to do it, and they weren't really interested in what had happened. So I remember sort of there was three of us and we worked very heavily together. And I remember sort of us being dragged into each other's stuff because one would get excited, put it that way. So, I mean, we used to go to Bill Harrison's healing weekend, and you'd see new things there, people doing stuff, you know, and you'd go, oh, one of us would go, oh my God, that just sounds amazing. And I did, the other thing I did on my own was a tuning fork workshop as well, because neither of the girls that I work with were interested in doing that. So, but in it, you build up your spiritual path and things you're interested in. And this just came to me the other day as we do like the cleansing, because I've done the video on cleansing yourself, cleansing space and protecting yourself and all of that. And then I was thinking about, oh my God, what about clearing your path? Clear your path of things that no longer hold your energy, hold your attention, hold any interest. Because in that toolbox we've got things in there that are great, that we'll use forever, and that's brilliant. But actually revisit, go back, look at what you are still holding on to as such. You know, I mean, I've done that over the years with books. I've sold them. I've taken to Glastonbury and sold them. I've sold them online in a pre-loved Facebook group. I've sold crystals because, you know, they're sitting there and you know that they've done whatever they needed to do, or, you know, when you bought them, I mean, it may have just been the fact of actually buying them, and then that later on that I bought a crystal necklace, and I had to have it. Absolutely had to have this necklace. It was a big aqua aura, and I was obsessed with it, and it was really big. It was very expensive for me especially, and I bought it and I got it home. And one, it was too heavy to wear, which I should have realised because it was a great big thing. And two, I just was like, why on earth did I buy that? I couldn't work it out. To this day, I've no clue. But then I posted it on the pre-love site and I said, it's never been worn. You know, I just bought it and it's not for me. But this lady, she just, massively fell in love with it, had to have it. And I thought, well, that is bizarre. Did I buy it for that lady? you know, because she would have never seen it. She would have never got the chance to buy it. It's just bizarre, really bizarre. But I think some things like that. So I'm quite happy to pass things on. I gift things, I sell things, I release things. I'm not hoarding, holding on. I've got to keep it. I'm quite happy to do that. When I was going to be living in Spain, I had to sell a massive amount of my stuff. My gongs, my huge drum went, all my I had a whole set of chakra singing bowls, had lots of stuff, and it all had to go because there was no way I could take it. I knew I could pack up a lot of my crystals and keep them at my mum's, but I knew that, I mean, even that I did sort of sell my a lot of crystals, but so I just wanted to connect in with this thing of like releasing stuff. So releasing a workshop you did that you really felt drawn to do, or that your friend got you to go with them to do, and then, you know, or a course you just really wanted to do. You would have got all your learning. It doesn't mean that you wasted your money or wasted your time or anything. I believe that everything is correct. Everything, my saying is, every single second of every single day is correct. So even if it's wrong in the sense of you have a horrendous time, that's still correct. It's part of the process of whatever it is that you needed to learn, or that maybe it was karmic, or whatever it may be. But you had to go through the process of it, whatever way it is. So I think with this full moon in Scorpio, it's a time, and Pluto in retrograde, so Hellas chariot in retrograde, it's a time to go deep. It's a time to really look at a lot of what you've done so far on your path. Clear out the stuff that is really no longer part of your path. Don't keep it just in case you might get back into it. Now, I did this 5 times or so with the runes, because they kept coming in really strong. And they'd come in really strong. I'd buy some books. I mean, I think I bought Diana Paxton's book, Taking Up the Runes, or whatever it's called. I think I bought that. I've bought that probably 6 times, I'm sure. And then I would sell them on, because it wasn't the time. I don't know. I mean, maybe if I'd have tried, I don't know what all of that. Again, every single second is correct, and how it was how it was. And so yeah, I'd sell them, and then I'd buy them again, and I'd go, oh my God, why did I sell them? Because, you know, now I'm looking at them again, and then I'd sell them again. This has happened with sewing machines, which is a completely different thing, but it's part of the creative part of it. I've bought a sewing machine, too scared to use it, didn't know how to use it, got rid of it, got another one, gave it away to a friend or to her daughter. Oh, just ridiculous. And then I said to my husband a couple of years ago, I want a sewing machine, and he just shook his head. He was like, oh my God, no. And I said, no, I will. I'm going to use it. And he said, yeah, but you said that before. No, I really will. This is the time. And so I got another sewing machine. I'm using it. Not as much yet as I'd like to, but I am using it. So it is funny. And yes, you might be wasting money in the respect that you buy something and then, you know, you're selling it on. I mean, there are pre-loved sites for so much nowadays. And sometimes it's nice to gift it away. Sometimes it's nice, you know, to give to someone who really needs something or is going to really use it. So that's always a lovely thing anyway. But don't keep stuff, you know. I think men are good at this. Like, I think it's quite a man thing of like having stuff in their shed, you know, a bit of wood. No, I'm not getting rid of it because it'll come in handy. It'll just come in handy. And then, you know, their shed is full of, it will come in handy. This sort of time now, this energy, this cycling of this energy is go through, clear, release, let go, because these things bind you, and then you don't have the energy to spread somewhere else. You might think you can, but actually these physical things, these mental things, these emotional things, they keep us bound in a way. So it is time, and I can feel the energy very, very strong of this releasing. I mean, maybe it's just my toolbox, that's fine, but I just wanted to share it with you. So at the minute, I'm revisiting, I'm going through my toolbox. Things have come up anyway, so something that I've looked at so many times before. There'll be a thread that'll stay through all of your stuff. Crystals have always stayed. They've never gone. I don't think they're ever going to go from me. They are really part of me. I mean, I've bought some crystals recently, and I don't regret buying them. I mean, my mum laughs and says, well, what do you want any more for? You've got hundreds of them, but I don't even try and explain. But some things in my toolbox are coming to light and coming up through, and so I feel that I need to release some other stuff to help that flourish, help that grow. And you know, it just gives you the space. It gives the things breathing space. It gives you breathing space. And you know, that clearing energy is so important. You know, that we were talking about the protection, but if you don't cleanse, the protection isn't that good. You need to always cleanse. So cleansing your spaces, looking at what you do, what you don't are not going to carry on doing. You know, I remember, I mean, I'd collected so many Reiki books over the years, because it was so big for me, Reiki. It really was a huge milestone, a huge stepping stone to a lot of my path. And had loads of books on Reiki. I read them. Did they need to still be on my bookshelf? No. One, it gives me space to, when new stuff comes in that I want to buy a book, I've got space because I've released some other stuff. And some books I've never got rid of. I know, I pick them up, I feel them, I sense them, and they're like, no, and I'm not like, no, I can't get rid of you. My Melody crystal book, that'll never leave me. That is a thread that is so part of my soul, that because that was my first crystal book that really helped me get to work with my crystals like I do, and that'll never go. It's and now she's passed, I feel even more so that I can't get rid of it. I loved Ted Andrews, and I think I had probably all his books. And I felt at the time like I had to have all his books because I really loved what he said. And then I realised it was almost like a collector's thing. It wasn't actually a deep spiritual connection. It was that collector's thing, because I'm a bit of a collector, and it was that I just had to have all his books. I needed to know that they were all on, you know, my shelf. And it was like, no, you don't need them. But there was some that my certain ones, my Kabbalah ones, they never go. They were important to keep, and there was a couple of others that I didn't get rid of. So you know, you'll find that, but then you might look again in a few days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and you might feel, oh no, it's time now, time for them to go. And it's such a relief when you clear some stuff to make way for other things. The I Ching, that's never gone. That is a very, very strong thread that runs through my my spiritual journey, my path. That's just really strong. But I did have a few different books on the I Ching, and I think I've got the Magician's I Ching and stuff. And I have got rid of some because, again, it was a bit of a collector's thing of like, well, I want to know all the different things, and but the thing is, reading them, then you've got that in your mind, and you don't necessarily need the book. And the other thing I did well, again, when I was going to Spain to live, was I mean, my book collection was vast. I mean, it was massive. Even though periodically I went and sold books. It was, I'd go sell, they'd give me the money, and I'd buy a load more books to come home with. So it was madness. But anyway, my husband bought me a Kindle, which I really did not want, because I love books. I love the smell of books. I love holding a book. Holding a Kindle is just not the same. But I realised that I could use my Kindle and put at least my reference type books. So my Scott Cunningham magical oils, herbs. I think I've got my Judy Hall crystal books on there. So, you know, it was handy and it relieved the bookshelves, but I didn't want to totally get rid of those because they're great reference books. So a lot of my books on my Kindle are reference books, or more unusual, like I've got very unusual rune books on there that are only done via Kindle and not in book form. So that worked out actually really well, and I actually now quite like my Kindle, but I still love books, and I tend to, if I want a book on something, I tends to be a book that I buy, not Kindle. But obviously to go to Spain, it was perfect because I couldn't take all my books, and so I needed books to read. So yeah, so this moon is a moon of clearing to change. It's a transformational moon. It's a time to really transform your thoughts, the way you're working, what you're looking at. I mean, you might go through everything and you might come out the other side of it and still where you are, and that's great because you've looked at it and you've gone through everything to see where you are. I know mine has changed because leading up to it, the last couple of weeks, all this stuff has come in. Stuff has been moved around in my psyche and my being, and I know that things are going to be changing from this moon. I mean, it's not just the moon; it's all the other things going on, but it's there and it's potent, and the transformational energy is very strong, and is clearing stuff for me. So it's an interesting time. Yeah, and so I just recommend you take some time and you look deeply and you look at your practice and you look at your path and you look at, you know, where you are now from where you were, however many years you want to go back, and but see what's to release. See if there's stuff to release. See if they're physical items that you can pass on to someone else or sell, or, you know, just move them. Or, you know, are they emotions that are still tied to something? Is there stuff that is in your toolbox that you don't need and you don't want? You know, something you learn and, you know, you went on a workshop and it's time to release it, just to think of it, to, you know, just say, well, I don't want to be tied to that. I want that energy to be released. I want it to go back into the ether. It's not part of my path. It's not what I'm walking. I no longer need that to be in my toolbox. So yeah, so just a video on that. I don't know if it makes much sense, because I received a lot of this, like I say, about over a week ago, and I can't grasp all the bits that spirit were trying to give me, because they've now gone. But the premise of it was to go back through. We clear our homes, we cleanse our clothes, we clear our flesh, you know, and we've talked about our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, and all of that of clearing. But what about the spiritual path? You know, your toolbox, your path, you know, that could possibly, you know, need a good clearing. Or think of it as a garden. You're weeding out stuff that, you know, no longer, you know, like my rosemary. I've got a rosemary bush, and it's in a pot, and bless her, she's flowered, but she's woody. She's no good. She needs to go. And I'm sad, and I'm still keeping hold of her, because I just feel a connection to her. But it's time to release her and maybe get new fresh rosemary. You know, it's things like that. Weed out. Just look, take stock, clear, and this moon will really help you with it. If you know, you could write down whatever it is on a piece of paper, burn it, you know, call in the energies of the moon and release it and cleanse it. And it'll be like that Hagalaz energy. It'll be that, you know, when you've walked through the storm and you come the other side. I'm not saying these things are storms or negative things, but you know, good stuff has to be released as well. So it might be a lovely workshop you did, you really enjoyed it, but you went with your friend, you weren't really interested in what they were talking about, but you had a great day because you were with your friend and they really enjoyed it. It was lovely. But you know, just release yourself from it and let things go and move forward. So just yeah, so I hope you're all well. I'm just about to go on the half space. We're working with Scardy this month, and we're doing a rune reading, so that's going to be lovely. So yeah, so if you like the video, thumbs up, all that stuff. If you're new to the channel, I'm Suze from Grow Fire Talk, and I ramble on about all sorts of things, and yeah, hopefully you like it, hopefully you stay. And subscribe, that'd be lovely. Anyway, take care everyone, goodbye, love and blessings.